morning. Today I'll be discussing the typical interview questions and how to answer them. Let's face it, interviews are nerve-wracking. I can speak from experience. Having 10 years in the professional environment, not only have I interviewed for many professional level jobs, but I've also been responsible for interviewing people for professional level jobs. So I can give you a perspective from both ends. The key is being prepared. Not only is it important to research the company that you're interviewing with, but it's also important to research the position. It's helpful to research the position in relation to other positions that are similar from other companies. This gives you a broader perspective on the job and a better understanding, and prepares you for conversations that may arise during the interview process. You should also research salary ranges, and it's important to remember that salary ranges may vary from region to region. So be sure to look at salary ranges not only in your field, but also in the region, in the area that you're looking for your job. So here are some of the basic, typical interviewing questions. In my experience, these types of questions are typically asked in a specific order, and the book verifies this. The first type of question is the kind of question that is designed to get the interviewer acquainted with you. These are the icebreaker questions. Dr. Beverly Chiodo states that one of the most important aspects of a candidate in the job interviewing process is character qualities, and I tend to agree with this. The second type of question are those types of questions that are designed to gauge your interest. These are a good opportunity for you to further your perspective on what the job actually is, and to ensure that the interviewer understands this and compare those perspectives. The third type of interview type question is the kind that are designed to probe your experience. These are the questions that you get to when the interviewer has decided that you're the type of person they could work with and that you are in fact motivated towards the job. These get more specifics about your actual qualifications. Moving on, the types of questions that come next explore your accomplishments. You have an opportunity here to expand the interviewer's knowledge in the field, given your experiences and accomplishments. From there, you move into questions that the interviewer is looking into your future and what your aspects of the future are. These questions are really designed to measure your ability to be goal-oriented, which is important in a professional environment because you will be tasked with projects, and the interviewer likes to know and feel confident that when your projects come around that you are willing to put the effort towards obtaining those goals in a reasonable manner. And finally, the salary expectations questions. These are important questions, but you'll find that they're very easy to answer, and I'll give you tips on how to best approach these types of questions. The first kinds of questions are those to get acquainted. As I mentioned, they're the icebreakers, but you should take the opportunity to relax here. And not only for you to relax, but to give peace to your interviewer as well. By projecting a relaxed persona, you will in turn relax your interviewer, which will make the entire process go much smoother. When they ask you to tell themselves a bit about yourself, remember to not go on a personal tangent. It's important to remember that you are being interviewed for a particular job, and you need to remember to give examples of how your personal life pertains to the job. For example, I'm a computer science major, I program in many languages, I enjoy sitting in a cubicle all day, and a lot of people don't necessarily. So that's a good little insight on myself that pertains to my job and my career aspirations, and something that would be useful to them, that is relative to my position. Other types of questions you may get asked are name some of your strengths. It's important again here to stay relative to the position. I can code in several programming languages, and because of that, I can pick up other languages rather quickly and easily. So I might say something here like, well, because I can code in several languages, although I am interviewing for this C# development job, should the company obtain a contract later down the road that requires some other language to be developed, and we don't have anyone who specializes in that, then I may be your go-to guy because I tend to pick up languages rather quickly. So that's an added benefit to me in that position. The next thing the interviewer will attempt to do is to gauge your interest. And again, this is a good place where you can show that you've done your research. The key here is the mission statement. You should absolutely read and understand the company's mission statement before you walk in the door. And this is a good way to show that you've done that and done your research. It's easy to say, well, when they say, why do you want to work for us? It's easy to say, well, your mission statement says this, and that fits in well with my morals and how I think business should be run. And furthermore, the job description that I'm interviewing for states that my objectives should be these things, and those are the things that I specialize in. And that's important because mentioning the job description gets you into that conversation that I talked about earlier about how you can work a conversation in about what your perspective of what the job entails is. And that will in turn produce feedback from your interviewer saying, you know what, it's exactly what we're looking for. Or, well, I think maybe that's important, but you also need to understand that what we're looking for as well in a candidate are these things. And that's a good opportunity for you to stop and say, well, that's not exactly what I thought I was interviewing for. And you might get to a point where you can, move on or do something, go elsewhere and maybe not waste anyone's time if you've misunderstood the job. Other questions are questions about your future. I've kind of always hated the questions about the future because I feel like I might step into a situation where I'm threatening the interviewer. If you say, well, I like this job position and I see myself in a year doing these types of things. You might wind up finding out later that your interviewer does those things and now you've challenged their position, and then that might not be good. So my advice here is to come up with prepared answers for these types of questions that are politically correct and canned, and rehearse them well. And use them in every interview. There's nothing wrong with using the same responses in different interviews, and by using them more often, they're well rehearsed, and you'll sound much more confident and professional. Now, the salary issue is easy, as I said. When they say to you, so what are your salary requirements? It's very easy to get trapped by saying, well, I'd like to earn this much. And if the employer's thinking, wow, that's a lot less than we were expecting to pay, then you might get that much. It's a lot easier to say and very professional and accepted as well. I've researched the field and I've researched the region, and here's what people in my position in this job description are making in the region, and I feel like I am confident that I'm worth this amount. And then that puts the situation back in their hands and lets them make the decision, and you're good to go. So in conclusion, when faced with the opportunity to go for a job interview, it's important to do your research on the company. It's also important to have answers and specific examples prepared and rehearse them well. And furthermore, do not forget to indulge the conversation because you will find that good, solid conversation during the interviewing process, even if you don't get the job, will teach you a lot about not only your field, but also how to be a better interviewer, and ultimately gives you the opportunity to speak with people, professionals that are currently active in your field, and allow you